Hello and welcome back to another Paso video. Today we are going to be doing a mod review for a little game of mine that I like called Valheim. Some of you might know it if you're part of my audience, maybe. I know we're normally a Space Engineers crowd, but for anyone who's new here, welcome to the channel. So we're going to start today off with a little mod review for Therzie's Wizardry, which is a wizard mod for Valheim. I've recently started a modded playthrough, one of my first proper modded playthroughs. And this was one of the key mods that we've used because I really wanted to get on my Shadow Wizard Money Gang type vibe. Insert clip here.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang, we love casting spells.
Anyways, so we're just going to walk through the different things added with this mod. So here we have my little display that I've put together. I hope it's alright. It is my first Valheim mod review, so don't tear me to shreds, I beg. But yeah, so we'll start off with the tables today. So we've got the wizard table here, the arcane anvil, the cloth weaving loom, the poison cauldron, the ancient spell book, the spell cabinet, and finally the ritual circle. So by getting all of these, we're going to have a fully upgraded wizard table. So these are the main three things we're really going to be crafting with to progress through the mod. So if I just come in here, now just ignore all of this is here because we're just in debug mode, but if I just come to the bottom here, you'll be able to see some of the things you'll be able to craft in here. Okay, so here we have a lot of the wizard stuff here from this, I think from the black yarn it looks like, yeah. So this is just about everything that the mod adds here, with the exception of the fishing bait, sorry, I think up to this rotting staff here. So this is everything we're going to be going through today. I've organized it all over there, so it's going to be nice and neat. But we're going to start off with this table here. Now, to build this table, I've just got a little hammer here. As you can see in the bottom there, this is what we need to craft it. So we need 5 surtling cores, 10 bronze, 8 core wood, 4 troll hide, 6 bone fragments. So this mod sort of starts in the black forest, which I do think is pretty balanced because these staffs do very quickly become quite powerful, and I think getting that from the get-go against Ichthir would be a little bit silly. But yeah, so we're going to start off building that. After that, we've got the arcane anvil here, which again, I go into here, it's going to have a lot of the things here, so sorry about that. But what this is going to let us do, in fact, sorry, let me just deactivate this. I think that might show me. No, hang on. Let's try that one again. Let's turn set of commands off. Okay, that still hasn't worked. That's so cool. Okay, well, basically, when we come into the arcane anvil here, we're going to be using this to make a lot of our magic cores. So to build a lot of the staffs, we need to make a staff base. So for example, this is the black forest staff we can make. We make a gnarly base using magical infused pine wood and 4 surtling cores there. So I've got some, well, I don't have the wood there, sorry, I've missed that one, but as you can see, each of these different staff have a different magical infused wood, and we can get that wood if I just come over here. So the black forest there, if we mine one of those fir trees for instance, there's a chance that you can get the magical infused wood, and that will unlock the staff for you. Once we make the staff, then you need to make the core, which might also be in here somewhere. Okay, yeah, so here we have the Evergrowth core. So this is the first one that you're going to be making. So we need 9 ancient seeds and 3 elder shards. So I'll just explain that as well. I have the elder shards here from in each biome, from the black forest to the Mistlands. There is an enemy that will spawn. I don't know if we can maybe quickly find some now. Let me just activate my flight. But there is an enemy that will spawn in each of these biomes who will drop the special shards that you need. So we are looking for a fire mage grey dwarf who doesn't seem to be anywhere here, which is quite funny because we couldn't escape them in our playthrough there. So that's alright. I'll leave that to you guys to explore. Also, the mod link will be listed down below. For anyone who is curious. But yeah, so that's what we need for the cores there. We get different elder shard there. So we have the elder shard, the bone mass shard, the motor shard, the Yagluth shard, and the queen shard. So each of these will drop from the biome specific mob that spawns, as well as the boss for each location will spawn in these elder shards. Okay, moving on, we have the cloth weaving loom. Now in this thing here, we're going to be making yarn, and we're going to be making wizard fabric bundles. So we make these using the different colored yarns. These will all unlock at different stages of the game when you unlock different crafting recipes. But the first thing that we will be making is yellow yarn and brown yarn, which we can find here. So we have the brown yarn there, and it looks like the yellow yarn is escaping me. Okay, that's okay. But yeah, basically that's what we need. And to get brown yarn, we need wool, which we get from sheep, which don't seem to be anywhere. Let me just see if I can spawn one of these little creatures in. I forget what they're called. Maybe they're just called sheep. Spawn sheep. Okay, we've got the trophy sheep. Sheep underscore TW. Okay, well that's a little bit tragic. We got its head before we actually got the sheep. Just pretend that didn't happen. Okay, here we have a sheep here. So they're called Darkhorns. These are tameable, and they will follow you around as well. Similar to the wolves, you can make them follow you. So they serve as a nice early game companion. You find these guys wandering the meadows, and you can tame them using, I believe, raspberries and carrots and anything like that. Look at this guy. Thinks he's king of the castle here. Wow, that's very majestic. There's a little background for you guys to screenshot. But yeah, so these guys are pretty cool. You can tame them and you can breed them just like boars. They drop boar meat and wool, and we're going to take that wool and we're going to use it here to make the yarn, which I've just explained. So that's pretty cool. We use that to make the different types of fabrics here, and we use the different fabrics to make the different armor pieces, which I believe we make in the wizard table here. I'll just see if I can find them here. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to bother. Alright, I'm going to let this guy live for now. Anyways, yeah, so next we have the potion cauldron. In here, we're going to be able to make a series of potions. So we have the aquatic potion, lumberjack potion, miner potion, and the oxen potion. And I guess this as well, I'm not too sure if that's... No, okay, I don't think this is vanilla. Yeah, this is all part of it. So we have the speed potion, stone skin potion, sneak potion, skillful potion, minor rejuvenation potion, and the medium rejuvenation potion. So each of these potions are really, really cool. I've used a few of them in the playthrough that I've been doing. So we have like the skillful one here. Increases all your skills for 8 to 5 minutes. The sneak potion, speed potion. Some of the really good ones that I've been using pretty early game as well from the looks of it. We've got the oxen one, increases carrier weight by 200 for a whole 30 minutes, which is pretty insane. So that's really going to help with those copper and tin runs to the Black Forest. In addition to that, we have the miner potion here, which increases our pickaxe skill by 10 for 25. Sorry, increases it. Our skill... Wait, damage with pickaxes by 25%. Yep, okay, so that's what that does there for 600 seconds, I think that might be. Not too sure how the Valheim time thing works, but we can see we can get that one in the swamp there because we have the bone mass shard required for that. So you sort of unlock all these at different stages, but they're all pretty good. Yeah, so we've got the lumberjack one here for the Black Forest here, which we can unlock with the Black Forest ingredients. So that one's pretty good. Going to help you early game when you need to build all your little houses and that. Beyond that, we just have these upgrades here, which we unlock at various times. So we have the Ancient Spellbook, which it looks like we unlock that in the swamp. As you can see, we need 4 withered bones, 10 ancient bark, 3 ooze, and 2 bone mass shards. Then we have the spell cabinet, which unlocks in the mountains biome, where we need crystal and obsidian and motor shards. And we have the ritual circle, which unlocks in the plains, where we get the tar, the fueling totem, and the what's that? Skeleton trophy and stuff, which we can get that before. And then yeah, that was that there. Okay, so that's all for the crafting and the workbenches and stuff like that. Pretty cool. Even if you're not going to be using the wizard stuff. I think it's cool that you get some different decorations. Like this could just fit in a house anywhere. You've got a cauldron, which I think regardless of if you're doing wizard stuff, that's pretty handy. And you've got this, which looks pretty cool as well. So that's all for that. We're going to move on to the foods now. Don't worry, we're going to get to the magic and the fun stuff here very soon. Moving on, we have the different mushrooms which the mod adds. So we have the witch eye, we have the death cap, we have the wizard butter, we have the devil's tongue, and this is a part of the base game, but I've just added it here. I'll explain why in a second. So each of these mushrooms are going to give you access to E tier regeneration and E tier bars, similar to the stamina and health bars at various points in the game. So we've got the Black Forest, the Swamp, the Mountains, the Plains. The reason we don't have a modded one for the Mistlands is because that's where we automatically get the mage caps. In any case, we just have that in the base game. So this is just going to give us access to magic in the early game relative to when we would normally get magic. As well as that, so when we pick up each of these, it's going to unlock a variety of different crafting things for food. So for each biome we have a platter here, so this is the Black Forest buffet. In fact, I have it here. So we have the Black Forest buffet, 45 E tier, we get a little bit of health, a little bit less stamina, and we also have the Witch Eye soup, which we also can make. As you can see, that gives us 10 E tier, 25 health, and 21 stamina. So a little bit balanced compared to the Black Forest buffet. We get a little bit more range with this. But, you know, we can only have one at a time, so together they all work well. And as always, you can combine your food with other things of food, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, for each biome, we have a different plate here. I haven't spawned them all in because there was a few to spawn in, so I'll let you guys explore that for yourselves. So yeah, that's pretty much all for the food. We're going to go and eat some of those in a second when I show off all this stuff here. We also have magic circlets. So we have a bronze circlet, a iron circlet, a silver circlet, a black metal circlet, and a carapace circlet. So each of these, in addition to wearing these, so you can either wear the hood from the armor sets there, or you can wear one of these circlets. So I think particularly if you're not going to be a wizard and you maybe want to get some of the buffs from the wizard circlets, the circlets from the wizard mod here, wizardry mod, sorry, you can see that you can wear one of these and they'll give you like plus 10 or plus 3 to your magic. They'll, depending on the level, they'll increase it, so plus an amount to your elemental skill, elemental magic skill, or it might be like your sneak or something like that. I do believe as well there is also magic rings which can do some different things. They work like men in Yord and our little like tools and equipment that we can equip, so you can have one of those equipped in place of men in Yord, which you won't get till later in the game, but that's also good to note. Sorry, I did forget to spawn those in. There's quite a bit in this mod here, first review as well, so go easy on me. But yeah, anyway, so that's basically all for all that. Now we're actually going to get into the fun bit, which is the robes and staffs and summoning things over there. So I'm just going to take this, and this, just to get some E tier going. So as you can see, we're going to get quite a bit of E tier and not very much health, so it is good to mix and match to maximize your stuff. But starting off, I think we're probably going to just start off with the basic fit here. So we've got the novice jersey, the novice robe, the novice hood, and the novice cape. And as you can see, they look pretty cool. One thing I don't super love about this mod is how all the wizard cloaks look very, very similar. Like they all have this little spiral, all the capes look the same, and they're mostly just recolors. But like, for what this mod does, I guess this one's a little bit different. You got a bit of a different mask there, but look, it adds some cool magic. It's a nice simple mod, so can't complain too much. Anyways, going to pick up the Evergrowth staff here. So this is the first wizard fit and weapon that you can get in the Black Forest here, just over there. So we've got a left click, which throws these little projectiles here, little rocks. And we have all of these staffs as well, which unlike other wizard mods which I've used, actually have a middle click, which is really, really cool. They all do different things. So the middle click for this one is going to summon in a conjured root, which I really have to say. Okay, well, it's only level 1, but you can spawn up to 3 when it's fully upgraded, which is really good. Even just this single one in the Black Forest stage is going to be really helpful. I found even in the late game, this staff is quite good compared to some of the other ones we get there. They all have their use cases, but if we just hover over here, we can see that we do 35 blunt and 5 spirit damage, so that's going to be really good when we go to the swamp after the Black Forest. It's really going to set you up. I will say we don't get too much armor with this stuff here. Yeah, so we have a max of 19 armor. As you can see, each piece gives an amount of, oh, there we go, E tier regeneration. So there's that there, and a little bit of armor each. So that's basically the little stuff here. It's pretty cool, and the summon is also very handy. So I'm just going to put that back there, and then I'm just going to take all these off and just put them back nice and neatly, and we'll move on to the second one. Alright, so here we have the second set. This is the swamp set. As you can tell, it's nice and green, boogie green, lime green, nice and lime, Mountain Dew flavor. It's the Mountain Dew Wizard. But as you can see, yeah, pretty similar design as the one before, but it's nice and green. We've got the Underworld staff, I believe this is called. Yep. As you can see, it's got a cool little dead goat head with some flaming eyes, pretty sick. So this left click, we're just going to be throwing some little balls out. Now these do a lot of damage and are really good at the stage of when you get this staff, particularly more so in biomes outside of the swamp. Using this against other creatures and other modded creatures particularly, this thing has been handy all the way up to the plains so far, and not bad in the Mistlands, I'll say that. But we've got that for our left click, and as you can see, so we do 25 blunt and 60 poison damage with a fairly low IT usage for how many projectiles. Now this thing absolutely melts a lot of things. Granted, I have a lot of A tier right now, but even in the early game when we won't have much, it's pretty good. The middle click is just a big fart blast there, which I didn't think was going to destroy structures, so use that at your own discretion. But yeah, so this is a pretty good one. The poison damage over time is really good, particularly if you're just, I don't know, you don't really have that much armor. You can run in, deploy the poison ult, and then you can just run out. And what I appreciate as well is we can use the middle click over and over. There's no cooldown, which is really good. Okay, so that's all for the swamp fit. We're going to move on to the second one, and we'll snap right back to that right now. Alright, so now we have the Magus, or Magus, I think Magus fit, which is the snow armor. I think I like this one the best. I think having the white and the blue really makes it look nice and distinct. I feel having this one is a bit plain, and this one's all brown. But anyways, so with this one we have the crystalline stuff, as you can see here. So this aesthetic is kind of like the pure wizard type stuff coming off the corrupted thing. I also will note just now, you can use all these staffs with any armor. It doesn't all have to be matching, just for anyone who is curious. But I do like the design of this staff as well. We've got like a little crystal there, very like Gandalfy, and mine's a Moria type vibe. But our left click here is a little rapid fire ice blast, very similar to the frost of the staff of frost, which we get in the late game. Except this one will burn through your eye tier, particularly at the early game where you won't have that much eye tier. So use this one pretty sparingly. As you can see, it does 8 pierce, 12 frost, and uses 5 eye tier per single projectile there, so you do burn through very quickly. Where I find this staff has been a lot more useful, I find the left click isn't super great, but it's quite good because we have a middle click here, which gives us crystalline healing, which gives us 12.5 healing per second. If I just spam that right now, yeah, okay, I was trying to damage myself a bit, but this is really good, particularly with friends. You can play a bit of like a support role. With my friends, they've all been playing, well, I've got one friend who's been playing a very hands-on, he's been playing with like the Berserker armor, which is part of the vanilla game, and this has been a world of help for him because, yeah, he takes a lot of damage. So this is the wizard stuff, the Magus fit. Anyways, moving on to the next one. Alright, so here we have the Plains armor. This is nice and red, very broody, dark, and we've got this cool chaos stuff, which as you can see is like a little goat kind of thing. some demon thing with like some red flares, which you can get. I think this is the same stuff as what the enemies in the plains use. We have like a fueling mage that's added. Anyways, moving on, we have left click, fires some cool little fire projectiles which explode off and then do a little bit of damage. I'm just going to move away from our little mod location. You'll see the tables missing there. I haven't actually used this one in my playthrough, so this is the first time for me, but the middle click, we raise our staff and oh, nothing's happening. Oh wait, so we can summon a strike down from the heavens of meteorites. I imagine this one's going to be really good in clearing a lot of enemies out. So yeah, I think I might even have to make this one in my playthrough because it does seem pretty OP. But yeah, you can see I used the middle click a little bit too close and we've destroyed all the stuff there. But as you can see, it does 30 blunt, 20 fire, and uses 24 E tier, which I don't think is ridiculous. At that stage of the game, you're going to have a lot of A tier food. Does good damage against fuelings, I imagine, and the middle click is going to be great when they hoard you. So that's all for that one. We're going to move on to the next one now. Alright, so here we have the Electromancer armor and staff. Pretty cool. A little bit different this time. This is for the Mistlands. I like the glowing blue. Haven't made this one in my playthrough myself, so we're actually going to see this one together for the first time. We have the Tempest staff here. Cool electrical staff. It says uses Thor's magic, so that's pretty awesome. Left click here, we fire off little electrical projectiles. I have fought against the there's a Diverger mage that the mod adds who you can fight against. He uses this stuff and yeah, it does a lot of damage, so it's pretty scary. So that's the left click, and the middle click I have seen, so this poor boar here is going to experience that. But we do this and we can do a little electrical blast there, so that's pretty cool. And let's see here, so it does 125 lightning damage, which is absolutely insane. And we use 28 E tier, which again, this stage of the game you can have most of the food. You've got the vanilla food, you've got the modded food, and I'm sure if you're playing on a modded server you might want to use some other magic mods. Got a bit of fall off on that as well, so that's pretty cool. We're going to move on to the other one now, so I'll put this away and we'll cut right back to the next stuff. See you in a second. Okay, so we're back now. Forgive me, I'm in my underwear. There is actually no armor. This is the only blood magic summoner stuff in the mod. We don't get this until I think the swamp biome. You get what I'm holding now if you get a fueling trophy. And the second one we have here is the Tarmancer. We get that if we get a tar trophy from the tar blobs in the plains. But if I left click here, we're going to take a bit of our health away and we're going to summon in a little Helling. So we got a little fire dude here. He's going to run around and throw fire at things. We'll see if we've got anything nearby, maybe. No, it seems not. Okay, well these guys are going to throw fireballs. You can have 3 of them at once it's all upgraded, which it isn't right now, but that's pretty cool. And then we also have the Tarmancer, who I'm going to summon in here. And we've got a tar golem, so he's going to run around and smack people. As far as I'm aware, I think you can only spawn in 1. I'm not too sure. Maybe you can get more if you upgrade the thing, but you can have a little army following you around as well as casting with your magic, which I think is going to be really good, particularly if you're playing on your own, because as you would know, that the mage class here seems all very ranged, and the armor isn't super great that you get from each of the things. So finishing this video off in my undies here, I hope you enjoyed my first mod review. I was pretty passionate about making this video just because I really liked this this Wizardry mod by Therzie. Now to install this you are going to need an add-on mod, which is I think the Bepin something or other, which a lot of Valheim mods need anyways, but I'll link both of them in the description below. Yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. If you do like it, I'm really keen to do some more Valheim mods. There is a dragon mod I'd like to cover. There's a few more wizard mods I'd like to cover, and some more like weapon mods. So do let me know if you didn't like it. If you want more Space Engineers videos, type that in the comments. I may very well be coming back to Space Engineers. We got Space Engineers 2 coming back. If you're new to the channel and you really like this video, or you like the vibe of this video, maybe you want to check out some of my other videos, please do go check those out. I don't just have Space Engineers videos, I have some other little like poorly made video essays that they could be better. Maybe I'm gonna start working on some more soon, but that's gonna be all from me for today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and have a good one. Bye.